Lifetime Fitness, and today I have a body weight cardio workout for you with an alphabet twist. So each exercise we do will start with the letter from the alphabet. We will go A to Z only one time through. You won't need anything for this workout besides a mat. Your warm-up and cool down is included into the workout as well. If you haven't already, hit that like and that subscribe button right now. Tell a friend, tell a family member. You can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon, where you can join for free now, so check that out. Let's get into it. All right, we are going to start off with around the world. So we're just going to come up and back down. Up and down. Make sure you're breathing. I want some nice motivating music. These are all 45-second intervals, so they are longer than usual. And our warm-up and cool-down is kind of incorporated into the entire workout. It's not separated like it usually is. All right, and we get a 15-second rest. We're going to keep it an active rest, so keep those feet moving. Next up, we have bends. So we're just warming up here. Just gonna bend off to one side, off to the other. Just for a few seconds. Just warming up those sides. Next up, we have cardio lungers. We're gonna split that interval. Again, active rest. Move your feet back and forth. March in place. So bring those arms up and bring in that knee. We're going to switch. Next up, we have a deadlift. Oops. Almost lost my balance there. For that deadlift, nice hinge at the hips. You can do a slight bend in those knees. Pretend like you have weights. You're gonna come down, flat back, core tight. Squeeze those glutes on the way up. Next up, we have an elbow to a knee. We're just going to alternate. Right here, elbow to knee, elbow to knee. Pick up the speed a little bit. You've warmed up. Next up, we have froggers. So we're gonna come down to the mat. We'll show you a modified version of this exercise as well. We're gonna come down like a frog. We're gonna jump back like a frog. Keep that core nice and tight. If you need to, just step it back, step it forwards, and then switch which foot you started with first. Next up, we have a glute kickback, which we are going to come down to the mat as well, and I will show you a modified version. So in that tall plank position, just kick, lift that leg. Keep that core tight. If you need to, you can come down on all fours, kick that foot back, and lift. Bring it in. Kick it back, and lift. Just keep that core nice and tight. We're going to go ahead and roll it on over for a hip thrust. Also a bridge. So get those feet close to those glutes. Come up and hover back down. Don't rest on the mat. You can put those arms up. Make it a little bit more difficult. Squeeze right up at the top. Next up, we have an inchworm. So we're gonna pop back up here. Keep the feet moving. So bend at those knees. Walking out to a plank. Bend those knees back up. If you want, you can also stay down here and never stand up. If you need that break though, come up to that standing position. Next up, we have jumping jack drops. A few more exercises, and we're on to our water break. Whew. So right here, jumping jack, drop down into a squat. If you need to, that won't impact jack. Down for a squat. Oops, I burnt my other side. Next up we have kicks. Nice deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep those feet moving. So just kick, then switch that leg. If you need to, a nice low kick. I did a brutal workout that will be coming out next year, and my legs are still sore from it, and it's been a week. Next up we have lateral jumps, so I'm sure you guys are really gonna look forward to that one. It was really intense. So right here, jump to one side and the other. Just trail that back leg. Try to jump the same amount on both sides. You need to set that back foot down to help with balance. And we're going to finish up with mountain climbers, and then we'll get to that water break. Down, in and out with those knees, core tight, keep those hips down. If you need to, just tap that foot. You can also come down off those knees and do the same thing. Just going to be not as much range of motion. All right, thanks. We'll get a quick drink of water, and we're gonna come back to finish up the rest of those letters. All right, we're back. We're gonna get into a narrow push-up. I'm gonna do mine off my knees. Keep those hands very close and just bring those elbows straight back and back up. If you want, do a full push-up. So whatever you can do, you can also do these off the wall. We'll show you. So just find an open space on the wall. Again, keep those hands close. Step back a little bit. In and back out. Next up, we have an overhead press plus a squat. So as we squat down, you can overhead press, Or you can break it apart, overhead press, down for a squat. Work against yourself here, like you have weights. Keep your chest lifted in that squat. Sit back in that chair. Press up through those heels. Next up, we have a plank T rotation. So we'll show you a couple different versions of this. So come down that plank, come over to the side for that T. And then slowly and control to the other side. Your core nice and tight. You need to, off those knees. Same thing. Or off those forearms. Next up, we have a quadruped hip extension, which is essentially a donkey kick. So down on all fours, or a fire hydrant, I'm sorry, a donkey kick, a fire hydrant. So it's right here, come out with that 90 on that leg, as much as you can. We're going to split this interval, nice and slow. Switch to that right side now, or the left, whichever side you were doing first. Next up, we have runners, where you're going to split that interval as well. So we're going to come up. I'm going to start off with my left side. It's our last exercise before we start our cool down portion. So left leg back. And we're going to run on that left. Our right will be supporting us. Switch, left support, run on the right. Get those arms moving, core tight. Awesome job. Now let's get into that cool down. We are going to start off with a standing forward fold. So come straight down, flat back. So hang those arms over. You can have a slight bend in these knees. Just until you feel it all down those hamstrings. Nice deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. And come all the way down to the floor, to those toes. Let your head hang. Next, we're going to come down for a seated torso twist. We're going to split the interval. We're going to start off with that left leg first. So twist that left over that right. Bring that right arm across that left left leg and twist back. Switch to that right over the left. Next up, we have an up dog, or you can make it into a cobra. So come up for that up dog, up on those toes. You want to put those toes down. You just do the cobra, ears down and back. You can also come down to those forearms and press up for a sphinx. Next up, we have a ventral raise plus side bends. So we're going to come into a seated position here. So come up for a ventral raise, and then off to a side bend. Stretch out through that chest, and off to the other side. Next up, we're going to come down for an X stretch. We have wrist stretches, so we're just going to stretch out those wrists. Whatever feels good, you can rotate them. You can bring them up, back down. Also bring like this. You can also use those other arms to help stretch back those fingers. Whatever feels good to you. Or a full body stretch. Just going up. Put out those arms and legs like an X. Stretch it out like someone's pulling you from each end of your body. And let it go. Stretch it out again. And release. Stretch it again. And release. One more time. And release. We're going to come sit up for a wide stretch. So you can spread out those legs as far as comfortable. You can stretch out those arms. You can stretch them out. Just reach them up. Just stretch through those arms and that chest, through those legs. You can also come down Touch those toes. Whatever feels good. And we're gonna finish with a Z pose, which is also basically a mermaid. We will split the interval. So we're going to 90 on both of those legs. We're going to stretch off to one side, stretch off to the other. Switch those feet, turn them out to your right side. Or your left, whatever side you did first. All right, I really hope that you enjoyed this bodyweight cardio workout with an alphabet twist. It's great for a quick cardio day where you just need a little bit of everything. We work that entire body, and it's also just a little fun spin. Keep things different so we're not getting bored. Make sure you get in water and a nice healthy meal. If you haven't, hit that like and that subscribe button right now. You can also find me on Instagram, Patreon, and TikTok. So check all of that out. I appreciate all of your support. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope that you come back to work out with me again tomorrow. Thanks.